Muted this time? Ah, yes. Okay. So everything looks right. I'm getting squiggles. I'm getting no squiggles on Zencaster. Ha ha ha. All right, squiggles. Got them. Cool. Everything is good. Everything is great. Squiggles all around. Here we go.
Yes.
Going live. Hey everybody, welcome to League of Legends Anonymous, episode 214. Yes, 214, because we did record 213, but why is Papa Smurf, you ask? Why do I not, where is it? I didn't get it. It's not in my stream. It's not on Stitcher. It's not on Podify, or whatever the fuck we're on. Why have we not heard of this episode? I didn't see it on the YouTube. Okay, fuck. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. I blame Twitch and their engineering department because who puts the export button right next to the delete button? A dumbass. That's who.
I blame Papa Smurf.
Who clicks the delete button instead of the export button? A dumbass. That's who. So, I'm feeling like me and Twitch may be equally at fault here. I don't know. I've reached out to Twitch support like the moment it happened, and I've been trying to get them to recover the video so I can export it to YouTube and we can rip the audio and all that. Because, oh, and by the way, Zencaster wasn't running either because I was like, fuck it. I'm so far in and I forgot to hit the button. We'll just skip it this time. We've got the video. The video has the audio. We'll just use that. Delete. Because I'm a dumbass. And the worst part is that I put a lot of fucking work into that episode. And it was 90 minutes long. And it was solid gold all the way through. And now, now if we try to recreate it, it's just not going to be as good. So, like, I'm not going to touch the topic again. I'm not going to do it for a while. I'm going to wait like a month or two if we can't recover the video or recover the episode. And we'll just do that episode over like a month from now when we've forgotten all of the like inside jokes and shit we said, because you can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. So we'll try again. If we can't recover it, I'm still holding out hope that we can recover it, which is why this is goddamn LOLA episode 214. With me this
you're really
week.
Fucked up.
Oh, super bad. With me this week is Ollie. He's back.
I'm back.
You may remember him from a year and a half ago when he was last on the podcast.
4 score and 7 years ago. I was plot 2, but then I sucked.
If not, you may also remember him as the most unpopularly named member of the podcast by popular vote. The vote actually was more popular than the name on which they were voting for. So
it was one vote
in
on
a shocking turn of events.
You never ran.
I ran it.
So
I voted.
Where was it? I couldn't find it. There was no poll. It was a poll that you ran in your head.
It was very short in duration.
It was right next to the delete button.
Yeah, it was right next to the export button. Did it not export? Whoops. Well, we'll have to look into that. Maybe I get Twitch to recover it. By the way, Twitch support
and the safety on the same gun in the same place.
In the same place. It's like, oh, you used the wrong trigger, dumbass. You know, like, no, I didn't. Like, this is a stupid place to put the delete button. In fact, move it from the side with all the options to the other side. So that way if you click delete, and don't get into me about how there's a pop-up and it says like, are you sure you want to delete? I know there's that pop-up. It was right after I clicked that pop-up reflexively that I went, oh shit, that was the wrong window.
Did you think there was a pop-up that would say, are you sure you want to export? Is that what you were
thinking? No, it always does. Like you hit export and then it's like here are your options, and they're always the same, and I always just click through. And so I went from here's your options. And then I expected that pop-up and I expected to click yes. And it wasn't until after that I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't the wrong window. Oh, God, that wasn't the wrong window. Ah! And then
Oh my God.
I lost my shit like immediately after that. The funny thing is, I tried to tell Zill about it, but he had already logged, and it wasn't until the next day. So like after I've had a day to process it, I was like, "Hey, I totally deleted last week's episode. Whoops." And he's like, "No." Like, no.
I didn't want to accept reality, man.
No, you didn't.
It was too hard. I just
Like,
rejected it outright.
Yeah, I kind of did. And I was talking to the audio editors, like, should I make a PSA that's like, hey, I'm trying to recover the episode? I was like, no, we'll just do it next week. Fuck. It was the worst. Okay, also with me is Killzill. You may recognize him from the live stream of last week's podcast. If you were there, it was great. If you weren't there, you are likely never to see it. So, there you go. Hey, Zill.
Hey, howdy.
How's it going?
Okay.
It's been better.
I miss my missing episode.
Morale is at an all-time low right now.
Well, not really.
So,
I'm excited about preseason.
okay, well, we're going to talk about that some. And last but not least, we're doing a four-man episode this week. The fourth man is Astros. He left his webcam at home, or wherever his webcam
he
is
lives.
located at, like the shelter, maybe.
I got 2 rigs, alright? Alright? One's at one house, one's at the other house. It's snowing, didn't want to drive, you know?
Oh, so you left your webcam at your summer home?
Yeah. I left it in Platte 2
Man owns-
with Tycho.
Oh,
and-
shut the fuck up.
Man
And
owns
then
2
he, like,
homes, can only afford
came
one
back and
webcam.
Never brought the webcam back. I never saw it again.
So, yeah, Tycho, we haven't caught up with you since the end of the season. What happened?
I'm depressed, okay? Fuck. I don't know, man. Like, I just play like shit. I think I just at one point just like I didn't really give a shit because like I don't know, school and just I wasn't really focusing that much on League. And then I noticed like, okay, Plat 3, I'm not. That's all right. And then Plat 4 is like, okay, you got to pick up the pace. And then my MMR is tanking. Next thing I know, I'm like in Plat 5, 0 LP, and I've lost like 2 games. I'm like, I'm not playing ranked for the rest of the season. So I spent the last like 3 weeks just playing normals. So just I don't know. I just play like shit.
Listen to me.
Yeah, I listened to Astro. That was a big mistake. Jin got nerfed. Hail Blades trash.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go back to
saved
top
you
lane.
from dropping to gold.
What?
I saved... My advice was for you to stop playing ranked.
Nah.
At Plat 3.
You know,
I was gonna stop.
2 more demotes to listen.
You know, you really can't you can't really claim to be like altruistic good advice giver guy because you're like, you should stop playing ranked at Plat 5. Oh, by the way, I passed you and you suck ass. Salt. Salt rub. You're fucking terrible. Like, this is you. You did that.
Yeah, when you're cutting people off in traffic and then also giving them advice, that's not exactly, you know.
Use your turn signal, asshole. See, I was helping him.
right.
Alright, you know, I was safe. Dude, he had like gold 3 MMR.
There's just a fine line between help and harassment, right?
I don't know how to
Well,
walk
no,
that line. I
this
just
was
figured
not a
it
fine
out.
line. He was like, "You're shit. I'm higher than you. I ended the season better."
It's like every other time I say something in the chat, he brings up the fact that I was like, hey, what happened to Plat 2? He was just something about it. He would just bring it up. I'm like,
I did it
okay,
today.
haha.
What did I say
Yeah,
today?
he did it today. It was like, ooh, original.
Yeah.
Wow, you got me there.
You also did it like 2 minutes ago. That's how we started this conversation.
I-
That happened.
Wait, he called me a pleb, and I was like, "That's the word for."
Yeah, but I was-
people
what-
from Plat 3
We didn't have to bring
five.
it back to like my rank, dude. Just let's keep it civil.
What do you mean I'm a
Keep
league
it
player?
civil.
It's all about the low. All right, if you were, he obviously didn't listen to the first episode I was on. I feast off of the pain and suffering of my enemies, rather than like the strengths of my
He
teammates.
did
So
admit this when I first
I
brought
gotta
him
I gotta
on.
knock you down to keep myself up.
Wow, that's great morale.
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
It's dark, but it's true.
Positivity. It's positive, dude.
Hey, I know what that's like. I played Teemo for way too long, for that
I mean,
very reason.
You've seen the list of champions I'm playing next season. I'm going all out
God.
next season.
God,
I have not
100%.
seen this list. I'm excited.
Oh, from his profile picture and all the fucking artwork he posts in the chat.
No,
It's
it's Kali. Okay, cool.
Kali, Ari.
Jesus Christ.
So,
Ari ain't bad.
you're gonna play a banned champion for the vast majority of next season.
That's an
Dude, you
excellent
can't-
point.
How's
They
that gonna
can't
work
ban
out?
them all. They can't ban them all, you know? She's got a 44% win
He
rate.
already
She's
plays
gonna-
Yasuo.
I'm gonna guarantee you at least 2 of those champions are gonna get banned almost every game.
Well, that's why I have 5 champions to play, Tycho.
He's gonna one trick 5. It'll be great.
Five.
Hey, I
trick.
never said I'm not a one trick, alright?
That's true.
Hmm.
If you look
Okay,
at last
so we've touched on preseason. Why don't we talk about it? Because that's kind of the point of this episode. Is preseason, the changes? Are we excited? Are we not? What does it mean? What's your initial reaction? Etc. 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 Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, stated preseason goals, and I mean we've touched on this, so I kind of want to like breeze through it a little bit, and I don't really want to make it a super long discussion. I want to get to the gameplay stuff later. So, keep in mind, if you want to hear us talk about this, I think we did it like 4 or 5 episodes ago when they first announced the ranked ladder changes. But update, it's all the same. They didn't really change much since we last talked about it. They're adding in iron below bronze. It doesn't make sense because iron is actually a stronger metal, but you know, whatever.
Iron costs less.
Yeah.
Costs less.
Uh-huh. So,
So you're a worthless piece of trash. That's what they're getting at.
so
Wow, there goes half our community, and
Well,
they say
and-
I'm toxic.
and you know, silver actually that makes sense. Silver, gold, and then plat.
Yeah, plat, and then diamond.
The diamond isn't even a metal.
No, but in terms of value, it is worth
Yeah,
more
okay.
than platinum.
Well, anyway, regardless, so iron's in, grandmaster's in. That should spread diamond out a little bit more between basically high diamond and low diamond. That being said, all the 5s are gone. So now if you can't call
Tycho
somebody
can't be plat 5.
yeah, you can't call somebody bronze 5 trash anymore. You're just bronze 4 trash.
What?
Or iron 4 trash, I guess, in this case. So, that being said, I don't
That's
think
weird.
I don't think it's going to meaningfully change anything. Well, they did it because they added in 2 tiers, so they didn't want to make the grind longer.
They made a, I saw something on the Dot, the Dot Esports, that's what it's called. They're hoping that, like, you remember how you talked about the divisions between, like, tiers by breaking it into, like, halves? Like, the 25 percentile, and then you break that down to 12, how, like, the gap gets lower as you move up. It's supposed to increase, like, how much you move up based on, like changes, because you can go from, like, gold 4 to gold 1 off of, like, changing something really small, but you can stay in, like, bronze 4 to bronze 4 despite fixing the same thing.
Hold on, you're saying the percentiles?
No,
Like,
what
different-
he's
like
saying
different
is
episodes.
basically if you win a game, right? Like the amount of shift in your elo will be greater since there's only like 4
Oh,
tiers,
okay.
right? So you're spreading out all of bronze across 4 tiers instead of 5. And because there's more space, like iron is a thing now, right? So the same players that would have been distributed largely over like bronze 5, bronze 4, bronze 3, bronze 2, bronze 1. Like now iron will eat up bronze 5 and bronze 4 elos, right? But iron is also 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So-
Yeah, that makes
It
So
spreads
like
out
the
the
skill
back
gap
end of it.
between what would have been bronze 5 to bronze 4 is now iron 4 and 3. Right? Or like that's the kind, I mean, this is not perfect. I'm not like Mathematically, it is. I'm just saying this is the rough concept, right? So,
It's like it spreads out the tail end because like the difference between like the elos towards the end, like how much of the player base is above gold, right? Not a lot. So
Yeah.
it spreads it out more in the
well,
back end.
okay. So plat is supposed to be the top 8%,
Yeah, it's like
and
top
diamond
8.
is supposed to be the top 2%. But then I just got something from Riot that said it's actually the diamond. There's only like 0.6% of players in diamond, which that doesn't
I think
match
it's
up with
below.
op.gg. So, but that being said, the idea is like the cutoff is like 8%, 2 or less, and then challenger is like 0.01% or something, or 0.00, whatever. It's way up there. But gold is the top like 20 to 25% of the player base, and silver 3 is the halfway mark, or was the halfway mark before they changed everything. Right? So, and then people below silver 3, and then bronze is the bottom 30%.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
that's kind of how it's supposed to shake down. Of course, all that is changing because the 5th tier of each one drops out. So, there is no 5, there's no silver 5, gold 5, plat 5, whatever. None of that. All of it's gone. So, is that going to really make a difference? It should help your elo be more representative of your skill. It should also help to, like, your gains will be more recognizable in your elo. That is the goal, right? So if you get better, you're not going to get slightly better and still be bronze 3. You should raise through, like, iron quicker than you would through bronze.
Correct.
Okay.
God, I can't wait to reach iron. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be fun on a
You should
bun.
have just kept playing ranked at the end of the season.
That's actually a pretty good burn. I'm gonna give him that one. He got you good, you fucker.
That's
Anyway,
3 times in an hour.
yeah.
What do you mean, dude? I typed the message in general at like 4 o'clock.
So, all right. So that's that. I don't think we need to beat a dead horse on that. We already did like a
No.
whole episode on it, so we'll move on. Some of the other rank changes are that they're trying to extend laning phase by creating tower shields that are breakable, and the numbers are finally in on that. Who wants to cover this?
I did not even look up the numbers. I saw a video with Trick2G and when he was playing PvE, and like it looks like each of those shields give like 160 gold when you break it down. So I was like, okay. I mean, it's kind of nice because like I guess it gets people to kind of want to stay in lane a little bit longer and not back based on just wave manipulation. So I was like, I kind of like it. It doesn't feel like fuck, like he's beating me so much. He's ahead in gold.
I mean, okay, so my thought, I honestly think that wave manipulation is actually going to be more important.
Agreed.
I think because the emphasis is laning phase, and you don't get out of laning phase, and you don't, like, everything gets elongated. So the fight gets elongated, the battle gets elongated, the stomps get elongated, and then if you get ahead, right? I don't imagine that too many fights, in particularly short of like high diamond or challenger, are going to end in like 0-0 stalemates, right?
No.
They usually get real stompy at anything from like diamond 4 and below, right? Hell, what am I talking about? Let's just say challenger and below. Even diamond 3 gets real stompy. But like, you don't see people like let off the gas. So if somebody gets crushed, then that is the point that wave manipulation is the most important in the game, because you can deny the other person's resources by just having presence there, right? They can't break a freeze that you put on if you freeze properly. So they're going to have to call their jungler up just to force you to back off of the wave to break the freeze. So you eat a whole bunch of pressure, or they just get denied if it's played properly, right? So anybody who knows how to manipulate that circumstance and control their minion wave properly is going to see much bigger gains, especially if they end up smashing like a huge wave into turret, because then they're going to bust those shields.
But
Right?
the shields are local, so if minions do it, I don't think you get the gold, especially if you back.
Well, I'm not saying you're going to shove a huge wave in and leave. I'm saying if you're that far ahead, you're going to shove the wave in, kill the other guy under tower, and then kill the tower. You know, or do a bunch of damage to it. Right?
Yeah.
Also, if you are lucky enough to bust down that tower and you do get that local gold, then, you know, the amount that you are ahead increases while laning phase continues. So, while I like the concept of a longer laning phase, right? I worry about what it's going to do because getting stomped in lane is not fun. Right? Like, it happens to the best of us that you lose in laning phase, right?
Yeah,
and
we
it's
got a lot
like,
right now.
oh my god, there's nothing I can do right now. I can't go in CS. I can't go do X, Y, or Z thing. And now you've got that guaranteed for 10 minutes.
Okay, so here's why I think that is not going to be as big of a factor, is because along with this, like, making things more stompy thing that they seem to be going, they're also adding another rubber band mechanic. Whether or not you like it or not, the idea of shutdowns over CS, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now when somebody who's freezing a lane, somebody who gets far more CS than you do, now has a bounty on their head. So if and when you do kill them, you can come back from that.
Right, you can reap the difference in being zoned out or whatever, right?
Right.
Okay. Here's my question on that. And I haven't seen it on the PB, but I haven't done the utmost of research. I just kind of read through the notes, right?
Right.
What's the visibility like on the bounty? Can you see it grow with CS? Because, I mean, it was obvious if they were on a kill streak. But with CS, I don't know.
That's true. I don't know.
They haven't posted the math for how much the CS. It just says when it's skewed heavily. No, I'm on the PB. It says like the actual math is not. We're not going to get deep into specifics. They basically say if it's skewed heavily, bonuses occurred will approximate to 70% from kills and 30% from minions, monster gold.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
whatever
what
the
I'm
hell
saying
that
is,
So I don't know what the difference has to be.
well, I guess what I'm getting at is kills are actually ascertainable, right? Like, oh, this guy's gotten 4 kills in a row. I know what he's worth, right? And I know he has a bounty, and I know that bounty is big, right? But if you just get ahead by a lot of CS, that's like a very quiet way of building a bounty. Likewise, I want to know if I'm worth bounty gold. So if I do get ahead by like 50 CS or something, like what's my bounty going to be worth?
I mean, we'll
am
find
I
out.
going to know that? Because that's like a huge concern of mine.
I mean, I think once you know how the bounty works, once you know the math, then you'll know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be indicators that pop up that say you have a bounty on your head now. You'll just know that you are out CSing your laner by 40 CS, and maybe you should watch out. You know?
I kind of hope that they
I
do
hate it.
actually put a thing in that says, hey, you're worth a bounty now. Because it'll let me know
If
that
it's-
I can't play stupid.
If it's just a CS lead, let's say 0-0 lane, and this one guy's up 60 CS, is that a bounty?
It has to.
Probably. Probably. That's
I
about
would think
as
it
high
would
as
have
you
to
could
be
get.
like it's like a 2 kill bounty, I would think.
Yeah.
Because you're ahead by 2 kills worth of gold.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna punish the player that's CSing 2 whole kills worth for that bounty.
No, they may.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty
150
dumb.
Gold or 250
I
gold.
mean,
but
I
not-
think adding a CS bounty in general is dumb.
Well, I have huge problems with the bounty system altogether. I was talking to somebody we were playing with last night, or was it last night? I don't know. It was within the last couple of days. And they were like, God, I'm getting stomped up here. This is stupid. There's no, like, this is dumb. The games get this snowbally. And I'm like, dude, we're down as a team 0-15. We should lose this game. Like, what's the matter with getting your ass kicked when, like, there shouldn't be a way back from this. We're down 15 kills. Like, it should be I don't think rubber band mechanics are good in that regard. Right?
I don't think that that's necessarily the case, and I think that that makes for fun strategy within champ select and within how you like play a game out the rest of the way, or whether or not you decide to surrender. I think that's what makes this game interesting. So
all right, well, let's have your point counterpoint. Let's go.
Yeah, it's like you're 0 and 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's you all picked the scaling champs and champ select? You're not playing for the early game, and yeah, you got punished for it. But the thing is, now the team that is up 15 kills actually has to finish the game. They actually have to finish objectives and not just play Team Slayer for the rest of the game in order to win. And if they don't do that, they should be punished for that. And they should not win that game because they picked for the early game in Champ Select. They then didn't capitalize on their lead when they had it. They did not go for objectives. And in League of Legends terms, not Halo terms, right? Not like Team Slayer, but like in League of Legends terms, they did not finish the game. And so they don't deserve to win. I think the other team, if they play that out, if they stall, should be able to come back into it.
Okay. So logically, I agree with your points, but none of that had to do with snowball mechanics. That is all late game champs versus early game champs. And I can agree with all of those points that yes, you're going to hit a point at which scaling champs will take over the game, and your win condition is getting there.
Right.
I get that. What I'm saying is you shouldn't be able to go 0-15 and then all of a sudden you pick off one guy or two guys or whatever. Like each lane gets a kill and somehow you're halfway back to covering the distance because you got a whole shitload of money.
I don't think League is one giant snowball. I think there are snowball mechanics within League, there are rubber band mechanics within League, and there are other sorts of mini games happening within League. It's a big, complex system. And so the idea that like you get 15 kills, you should just win that game, I think that's a very different game from League of Legends, and that's not what we're playing.
But I feel like if you're going to take anything in terms of like rubber band mechanics, you have to remember that this game doesn't have comms. Like there's no voice.
Sure, yeah.
Organizing an 0-15 comeback should be a lot harder than it is of just like, all right, 5-man group on this guy, let's collect that 1k gold bounty. 5-man group on this guy, collect that 1k gold
that's
bounty.
a good point.
Like,
That's a good point.
No, I agree that the bounty system currently is lopsided, but I still think it's a good system.
no, I feel
just
like
think-
a bounty system is fine, but I think it needs to be tailored less on punishing the player for doing well than
Right.
rewarding the player. Like, I feel like it should be objective based.
I mean, I guess I'm on the far end because I don't like the concept of a bounty system, right?
I don't like
There
the
is-
concept of a bounty system.
Yeah, there is bounty system that I am willing to accept, and that is like it caps out way lower than what it is now, right? Because I don't feel like you should ever get a kill on someone and get 4 kills worth of gold. Like that's excessively stupid that that's a thing, right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
Yeah,
it
that is a
makes it
rarity.
yeah, well, I know it's a rarity, but I mean, it's not all that rare to get an 800 gold.
It's not that rare to get 800. It's not that rare to get 600. Yeah, and
Right.
like I think 500 gold is really the max a bounty should ever be, even if it's shutting down the 12 and OE. I agree with you.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think it's a bad system.
Getting that E
but-
off the map for a certain amount of time is
Yeah.
punishment enough because
Right.
then you get to take objectives, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I
giving
think
everyone
it's-
back the gold to fix everything is not how we should do it.
Right, I think it's a bad system, but it's a bad system that I'm willing to accept if it's capped out lower than it is. Right, so, but all that said, I wonder if minion gold is just going to exacerbate the problem, or whether, like, depending on how it's scaled, if they cut back kills a little bit.
I'm just thinking it'll even out with the whole idea of lanes becoming more stompy. Like I think it will fix things like a 200 farm Anivia at 22 minutes.
Right.
Right. being the one who is keeping the other person from getting, that
Yes.
amount of CS.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I think that should actually be considered, because I mean, it's stupid to say, okay, bounty system is dumb. Okay, so I think bounty system's dumb. That being
Okay.
said, if you're going to do a bounty system, it only makes sense to include CS or gold advantage, because
okay,
that's the
I'm
whole
glad you
point.
think that. I think that too. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, like
They did
if
that
you're
in jungle.
yeah, if you're going
With
to
ketchup,
do it, Okay, but that's different as well. Like, and I don't necessarily love Ketchup EXP the jungle, but I guess it's the same
Ketchup-
premise.
Yeah.
You just
I
hate
don't know,
people coming back, don't
Well,
you?
no, okay, so here's the difference. Ketchup, okay.
It's true though. He wants people to suffer.
Well, I don't mind if look, here's the difference. I've been on the suffering end of that stick, but I am very much willing to accept that I fucked up. And that's
It makes
like
games drag really bad.
well, sure, and I mean I'll pay the punishment for that.
I
but
think
like
I don't. Yeah.
the ideological problem of it to me is like, okay, so we want everybody to have a chance to come back and make it a meaningful, fun game, and it's going to be competitive. But if it's competitive because you gave me an advantage and not because I did so with skill, that diminishes the credibility of the ranked ladder because it's just random, like not random, but you know what I mean. Well, actually, it is kind of random because if the support gets the kill on the 12-0 Yi and not your carry, you're still fucked. And I mean that's
so
dumb.
it's not even then the bounty is not a guarantee, right? You might have
Right.
team gold, but you don't have the right people. You
But-
fucked up. Like,
But I
whatever.
mean, here's my problem with the Ketchup EXP. I think it's even worse than the bounty system because Ketchup
agree.
EXP is guaranteed. You don't
Yeah.
have to do anything hard. You just have to
it was
do.
problematic last season.
Well, I
right?
said you just have to
No, it's
do what you
horrible.
were already going to do, and then all of a sudden you've caught back up. You know what I mean? Like
Didn't
I
they
have
nerf
to.
that though? Like,
I thought
it's
they
not.
nerfed that in lane,
Yeah.
not jungle, but like I think they I remember something.
you don't
like,
get
there was
as
a
much-
patch note.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing that, like, aside from Ketchup EXP in the jungle, because I feel like that's an aside and it's not really fitting to the whole preseason chat because they didn't change it.
So yeah.
So, but here's my issue is that Riot talked about bounties and they said some good things like, yeah, we want to implement all sorts of income into what your bounties should be. And I was like, all right, fine. If you're going to do bounties, I think it's dumb. That makes sense to add all gold advantage because that's all of what League is your gold translates to your power.
Correct.
Right? So, okay, fine. That makes sense. But they're like, also, we want the gold bounties to be bigger. So it's more impactful. So that way you have a meaningful chance to come back. Oh, but also, we want games to actually end when they're over. And I'm like, but you just... What? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we like vanilla, but also, vanilla should be chocolate. Like, no! Those are different flavors. They're even different colors. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is no twist bullshit.
But they're both beans.
Eh?
Really?
Okay, that's pretty clever. But I mean, that's the thing though. Like, so they're like, okay, so we're gonna make these ridiculous bounties that are also still huge, and we're gonna factor in gold. Whatever, I think that's fine. The factoring in gold does not bother me in the slightest. It's the concept of bounties in general, and I think I made that clear. But if to do that, to balance it out, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna speed up minion push to help close out the game faster. Is the minions will push harder, and that'll end the game, and that'll wrap it out faster. Okay. I conceptually, and I'm giving Riot best possible light. I'm putting all this thing in the best.
Oh, are you?
Well, no, for the next thing I'm about to say. I haven't up to this point, but for the next thing I'm about to say. In the best possible light, it makes sense that you would favor bounties while simultaneously making minions more powerful, because the effect and impact of minions is largely ignorable. And whenever you're behind, you're not thinking, oh my god, I'm behind and these minions are relentless. Right? You're thinking, oh my god, I'm behind and that Riven will never die.
I feel like I'm the only one who thinks that because like I stare at the minimap constantly. I'm like, why can't we clear these waves?
Yeah.
But like, yes.
But I mean, that's like the average player is not looking at the minion wave and thinking, oh my god, what a power mechanic those fucking minions are. They're thinking, oh my god, this Riven is
Look at the
12-0.
moves.
We can't do anything. It's not even fun because the Riven's too strong. I don't think minions will blip on a player's negativity radar in the same way that the lack of shutdown gold on a 12-0 Yi will blip. You know,
Do you
because
think this helps?
shutting down the Yi gives you that I feel good about myself moment that clearing a minion wave does not.
Do
So
you think this helps higher elo more than lower elo though? Because I feel like that's the only time when waves are actually taken into consideration.
well, yes. Actually, no. No, I don't. And here's why. Higher elo players were already playing around waves, so the fact that the waves push faster is not going to change a whole lot. It's just going to make things happen a little faster. The fact that the waves push faster automatically will help lower elo players because they don't manage the wave and they don't manage against the wave, and so they get an automatic and invisible advantage that's not going to be accounted for by either side. And if you have an invisible advantage that goes against one side and neither of them are factoring it, it will make a bigger impact. That's my
Figured that out.
that's my logic. I don't know if that's how it'll play out. I don't. What do you guys think? Am I right or am I wrong or different opinion or what?
I was thinking, like, what if they change bounty? I'm having like different ideas for bounties because you're okay with the gold advantage, but you hate the idea of bounties. I don't.
Okay,
or, like,
so
you said gold
I don't know.
what you said?
Here's the thing. I consider bounties, and this is the last time we talked about bounties. We went all over this anyway,
Yeah,
but
let's not hack this to death.
bounties I consider to be like the blue shell of League of Legends. Right? Like you're in first place, the guy in last place gets an item that just ruins your day for no reason other than to make Mario Kart more like gamesy and less competitive. Like there's no fucking blue shell in like Forza Motorsports 8.
Right.
You know,
you can be special in Mario Kart 64 no matter where you are. Whereas within a sport, you shouldn't have that, right? It should be competitive. And like
Correct.
I think this is a brilliant analogy. Like the blue shell is a mechanic that is overtuned in Mario Kart for the purpose of fun, but not competitive play.
Correct. And what my point is, League of Legends is emphasized as being a competitive and realistic
Exactly.
sport.
Exactly.
And if it's going
Esport.
to be well, I agree. I think the terms, I'm saying they are marketing it as a competitive sport.
Like
I don't
they
buy
compare
it.
to basketball.
Yeah, sure. I don't buy that it is an actual sport. I think calling it an e-sport is perfectly fine and accurately describes what it actually is. So I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, sure.
Plus, I like esports better than sports.
Yes.
So fine. You know, I'm fine with having something that isn't considered a sport that I'm into. That's better for me. Because then I don't get compared to basketball by people who are into basketball. I'd rather not argue that.
Fair.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
you like arguing everything. Get out of here.
Truth.
You don't have to
But,
lie to us.
you know, but I find that like belligerent sports guys are just not fun to argue with. You know what I mean? Anyway, regardless. Yeah, it's like the blue shell mechanic doesn't really have a place in League of Legends to me, right? And it feels like a blue shell when you get 1200 or 800 gold or something, right? Like that's dumb. But especially considering it's supposed to be like a ranked culture and a ranked environment and whatever, then that is against the flow of it, right? And so they try to create these high impact moments and counterbalance it with, well, we'll give you an invisible advantage too, so the game doesn't kill itself, right? And I get the mentality behind that design change, and I get that what they're trying to do is emphasize fun, and I'm putting air quotes on this for anybody who's listening to the podcast and not watching the podcast. Air quotes on that, because I don't know that it does, but I understand the logic behind it. But I mean,
I think if they're gonna use bounties, they have to put it into objectives. Like, as your gold But they'd have to do this like really smart to where like as your gold deficit increases, your like objectives increase in like raw value, but not something so subjectively that like, you're down 1k gold. If you get a turret, you get an extra like 500. Because I think it emphasizes team play and rewards the players for playing from behind and doesn't so much punish the players from playing aggressive that have the lead.
See,
Yeah,
I had a
mean-
crazy idea in my mind where, like, let's say you shut down the player that gets shut down. What if instead of, like, we cap the bounty goal at, like, something low, like 500, and then depending how many kills or CS they had, adds to their death timer. Something like nothing too
Ooh.
significant, but
That's
not
a good idea.
like enough to give impact to the team that's behind. For a jungler, like I don't know how this will work for a jungler, but like let's think of it like top laner. If they're dead and we add like an extra, I don't know, 5-6 seconds on their death timer, that gives the team more incentive to like push out this lane, get that next objective, and not have to worry about the serial killer that's on their team. Like I was thinking like, what if they just increase death timers? Make it like you're not getting gold, but they're getting the advantage to go take that objective, so they still have a fighting chance.
I still think it punishes the player for playing aggressive.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's fair.
here's the thing. There's no way that you're going to implement any rubber band mechanic that doesn't punish the player for being aggressive. And I understand the need for rubber band or the desire for rubber band mechanics because everything about League is designed to piss off the player because the game goes longer. Well, no, I mean, from a game design standpoint, it's got a lot of problems that other games don't have. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you fuck up a game of Call of Duty, oh no, my 7 to 10 minute investment. Next game. Right? If you fuck up a game of League in the first 10 minutes, you've just blown 30
You've bought yourself a hell of a heartache for
half an hour minimum.
Yeah.
Right?
Nah, you run it down mid and your team FF's at 15, dude. Easy.
Well, I mean, and see, that's exactly the problem. Is like
No, I agree.
Is like the game
And
itself.
Four people have a bad experience, and one person is
Well, sure.
mediocre.
The game itself incentivizes stupid, toxic fail behavior, right? Because it's so long, and of course it's long because it has to be meaningful with all the things on the board, right? And that's. I mean, I love the game the way it is. It can be very frustrating. So what they're trying to do is design out the feeling that you're trapped in the game and you can't do anything about it. Right?
Yeah.
And I get that. I don't know that there's a great way to do that I wouldn't hate. Because I am willing to... The difference is, and where I may differ from the rest of the player base, is I'm willing to look at a play and go, wow, I really fucked that up. I deserve this. Right?
I think
I agree.
what I feel, though, is that I really hate seeing my teammate fuck up a play and going, yeah, they deserve this, but I don't. And neither does my top laner. And him and I can get us out of this if they will just stop fucking feeding and like tighten their belts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's another frustration is League is a team game, and that team game is losable by one person.
And
Right?
there's no comms. It's like the only competitive team-based game where there's no comms.
Can you imagine comms in something that has developed this much of a toxic following, though? Like,
I don't think
But here's
that's
the
true,
thing.
though.
I
Like,
always
that's
yeah,
the
I
thing.
don't-
like
don't
if you get
think
calls,
people have
people
the
are not
balls
going to
to
say
say it.
shit to you.
wait,
it's-
what?
Like I think if you have comms, people are going to be less susceptible to like say toxic stuff to you.
Okay.
Unless you're playing with an actual kid.
Okay.
Like if you think about Call of Duty, like back to what he's saying, like it's only a 7 to 10 investment, right? Or 7 to 10 minute investment. So people don't really give a shit. I mean, and Call of Duty didn't have a competitive rank system like how League does. And League is going to be like, you're going to be with this guy for at least the next 15 minutes, right? So
Well, I mean, here's the
I
difference.
don't think they're going to want to flame you right away.
Well, no, I mean,
Okay.
here's the difference. In Call of Duty, I don't know how many times I played Call of Duty, like on Xbox, and, just log into a game and play Call of Duty or whatever. And every now and then, every like 10 or 15 or, whatever games, you'd have some like edgy little kid who gets on there and he's like dropping N-bombs and like screaming in chat and like, nah, I just say hateful shit, blah, 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 blah. And the first thing I would do is hit the back button, mute, and I'm done. And that's it. The kid's a troll. He's on my team, but I don't give a shit. I mute him so I don't have to hear his stupid chat, and then I go kill people with a knife. You know, it's all good. But you don't get that. Like, that doesn't happen in League, right? I mean, you can mute somebody's typing, but that's the other thing is everybody's a fucking keyboard warrior, right? And, okay, so I do a lot of divorce litigation, right?
Okay,
And
this is going to be an accurate analogy here.
no, it will be. Wait for it.
No, I know.
Okay. Do a lot of divorce stuff.
I'm divorced.
And, yeah. So in divorce, people have a tendency to not want to talk to each other because they hate their exes, right? Especially when kids are involved. I don't want to talk to them. All I want to do is negotiate out when we're going to pick up this kid, when we're going to drop off this kid, because any discussion further than that always ends up to be a fight, right? Well, everybody's got cell phones. So if we're going to talk and I don't want to talk to you, but I have to communicate, what's the number one thing I'm going to do?
Text.
Bingo.
Just send him a letter.
Yeah, here's the problem about...
Strongly worded letter.
Yeah, here's the problem about texting. I can write something completely benign, and whenever you read it with the most hateful emphasis on every word because you hate that other person, and you assume that whatever they write to you is going to be equal amounts of spite, venom, and raw hatred, right? Yeah. So, you know, and I've explained to my clients, I was like, look, I can pick the simplest sentence in the English language, and that sentence is, I love you, right? It's three words, very short, you know, and I can change what I mean in that sentence by changing the vocal emphasis on each word. I love you. I love you. I love you. Right?
I felt that one.
Well, as I'm saying, there are three completely different conveyances, right? But if I send that to somebody via text, I'm leaving it up to them which of those three things I meant, or whether I'm just being sarcastic as fuck. Right? And what I tell people in divorce litigation all the time is never text something to someone that you wouldn't scream at your phone in public. Because that's how they're going to read it. Right? Yep. Is if I could just scream it out loud at the phone as loud as I can and it still comes out okay, then you can go ahead and text that. Right? For example, I will pick up the kids at 4! Okay, that's fine. You'll pick up the kids at 4. That, you know, whatever. Right? Like,
did you let Johnny wear this to school?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's a different text. Don't send that text. You call. You know, and that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about is League suffers from that problem. Right? So,
yeah.
I can say to somebody like, oh, god damn, that was rough. I wish we had healed before I died. That sucks. You know, and do I seem pissed? Right? Type that verbatim into chat and tell me what you think my mental is.
Yeah.
Well, Blake, you'd never say it like that. You'd like, you have fucking heal and I'm dead.
No, what I do is I let out that breath I was holding that everybody thinks is me being passive aggressive. Like, okay, you might want to focus on healing me before I die. And everybody's like, But anyway, like, that's the thing though. I think like the game itself has a whole bunch of frustrating design mechanics. That I don't think really can be remedied without changing what the game actually is. And this is their attempt to do, if I paint them in the best possible light, this is their attempt at addressing some of the frustration points with trying to balance it so they don't change the game too much. Now, counterpoint, I think they suck at that.
Wait, but what about what they're doing to placements? This is like the best thing Riot's done ever.
That I will give them props for. The placement design is brilliant. Do you guys know what they're doing with placements? Does anybody want to explain it?
I heard that basically they're going to give you a provisional rank after one game, and then you'll get within this margin, right?
No. Basically what they do is they say... Well, Astros, you brought it up. You want to explain it?
Oh man.
Or do I need to? I'll just explain it. Fine. What they do is like you start your provisionals, you play your first game, they give you a rank, right?
Right.
And that is the lowest you will possibly be if you lose every game after that point. Okay? Then, as you win, they show your progression up the ladder, right? So, like, if you start out and it's like, hey, you're silver 4, game 1, and you win game 2, it'll be like, boom, you jumped up to silver 3 or silver 2
You get like
or whatever.
massive LP gains. Like
Yeah.
like you can get like 50 LP gains.
So,
But
like,
in terms, you also get losses, and then that number like focuses back in as you reach the end of your.
Yeah, it
Like-
gets within a margin. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. This is just reverse psychology. I don't understand how it's working on you guys. Like they're literally doing the same thing. They're just showing it to you differently.
right. That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
you
I think they're brilliant for actually showing
Ugh.
you.
God. Okay, the fact that this works on people. drives
No,
me
no, no,
insane.
no, no. It's pure
Everyone's a
psych.
fucking minion.
Okay, it's pure psychology. You are correct. I
it is.
understand that. What I'm saying is, you're a dumbass for leaving this behind a curtain for 5 seasons. When you could just show this to people and all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, I feel better.
It takes away the ranked anxiety. If you know what your lowest point is, you can be like, you can kind of calm down and be like, all right, well, it's only up from here, right?
So you're saying I can int my last 9 games?
Yeah, and you won't get placed lower.
Okay, so
I
the
mean,
psychology doesn't work on
won't-
Tycho.
This
Yeah.
well, whether he's trying
Yes,
or not,
plot 5, here I come.
whether he's trying or not, his team just thinks he's inting anyway. Doesn't matter.
Tycho has like chimpanzee brain. Whenever I'm trying to explain this, he's like, oh, okay, so I can aggressively fail? All right, yeah. Sign me up. I'm like, no, that's not what you shoot for the stars, bro.
That's
But-
a big yikes from me, dog.
But no, I mean,
I
you're
don't
right.
know, man.
I
I
mean,
feel like this is a fucking pyramid scheme, and like we should just like play this like we have always done. But whatever. People
No, it's
took their
supposed to
placement
take away
super
ranked
seriously.
anxiety.
People had so much anxiety around this, and like I have ranked anxiety, but it's usually during promos, not provisionals. Like I don't understand. How
well,
that's a
well,
thing.
Zill,
Whatever.
okay, so to be fair, like, you get LP if you win, right? And then if you bring in 2 other
Kind of.
people and they get LP when they win, and then you get a portion of their LP, and then if they bring in 2 people each, then
Oh,
you
Jesus.
get a smaller portion of all of their LP, and then pretty soon,
Guess what? You're not my friend anymore. That's how I feel about pyramid schemes.
All right, hold on.
did
hold
you
on.
like
Can I
fall
talk
for a pyramid scheme earlier in life or something? Or
No, I just know people who like fall for them, and like they're your friend, right? And then they see you as a dollar sign instead of a friend, and it's
Right.
like, what the fuck happened to you, man? Like,
Yeah, I'm still
snap
waiting
out
for
of it.
Blake
And then
to
all of a
say
sudden your wife sells essential oils. Right. I get it.
God.
I get it. I have too many
I-
of those in my house.
And then there's a divorce, and okay, we've relived this already.
So, all right. That being said, yeah, I know it's like you're pulling back the curtain, but I think it's way smarter to pull back the curtain than it is to leave people wondering, because that's an easy change that you can make for just clarity. And I don't think, yeah, did it really change anything? No. But at the same time, like, okay, I feel better about it, so fine.
You guys want
Right?
to go into like the splits? Because I know Papa doesn't.
Oh, the splits.
Or do you,
Uh,
or we can go into splits, or we can go about positional ranking. Pick your
Oh,
poison.
I think-
don't like
I don't even
I think
understand. I
both
don't
of
understand that
those-
completely.
I don't like either of them.
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick rant on the splits because I don't think there's much
That's
to
fine.
cover, but I dislike it and I want to say why. Right?
I agree.
Okay, so just to give you all an idea of what's going on, Riot has created this new ranked system by which they decided that the season is too long, which is true, it is too long. So, in order to remedy that, they've decided to split the season into 3 splits. By playing ranked and winning games, you get points that apply to like fill out split rewards, right? And what that reward is they give you a independent of your, well, it's not totally independent of your rank, but they give you like a picture of an armored helmet. And as you win the split, you get little helmet add-ons like little flare wings and little background, make it more fancy helmet, and it's called your league armor or something. And the more you do, the more games you play, and you qualify for your split upgrade. And then by the end of the season, you'll have fully upgraded split armor if you win in all 3 splits. And there's going to be some kind of rewards that are tied to playing in all 3 splits for the season. That being said, this could not be a more transparent way of trying to lock people into playing League year-round and not derping off in part of the ranked season. And if
That's
that
the
is
whole point. That's what they want.
I mean, that's what they want, and that's what they're doing, and the splits are not really... If they wanted to make shorter seasons, fine. Make shorter seasons. Don't give me a split that doesn't matter, because there's no ranked reset in between the splits. There's not a soft
There's no
reset,
MMR reset
not
or
a
anything.
hard reset, nothing. You just continue as if the split had never ended. It just creates this little artificial weird armor reward that I honestly don't care about. It's like less important to me than a summoner icon at the moment. Maybe it's cooler than I think it is. I don't know, but it really just feels dumb. Like, it feels like I'm being baited, and I don't like feeling like I'm being baited. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get anything out of this. It's
Here's
just...
the weird thing, though.
You get shiny armor, dude.
Yeah, it's Pyramid Scheme Part 2 for me.
Yeah.
Same feels.
I don't think it's bad.
I mean,
It's
okay,
like-
so out of curiosity, like, I feel like it's a very meh change. Like, I'm not getting anything and I'm forced to do more. And that in combination with what we're going to talk about next, which is ranked roles, I really may find to be annoying, because now I'm going to have to grind out like a whole bunch of roles and build my summoner armor. Like, it feels like I don't know, it kind of feels like what Warcraft did whenever they gave you an artifact weapon. And it's like the whole point of the expansion was like pimping out your artifact weapon. And then they realized that that was really stupid in the next expansion and just completely destroyed it. You know, it's like, we can't balance around this, so boop, it's gone. I feel like I'm building my summoner armor artifact weapon, is what it feels like. And I don't like that feeling. But
I just don't like
really-
the feeling of being manipulated to play the game all season.
Yeah.
I mean, I will play the game all season. I have played the game all season, but I know a lot of people who don't do that.
I don't.
That's because like they do different things in their life, and it feels kind of bad for them to like be pressured to do something that they won't be able to focus on. I don't know.
Well,
I think
it's
a big
like-
part of it is burnout.
Yeah,
I want
sure,
people
but...
Part of it
play
is
the whole
burnout, but how they work with burnout is by taking a break, and
Right.
now they're punished by taking a break, and that seems, I don't know, like if you're gonna push people out more, that's what you do.
I mean, I don't even know
But the
if-
people that do play year round, like they still get burnouts, right? Like, and the only thing they can do is like take a break. But I guess some people don't really want to take a break. They'll play some
Well,
normal
okay.
stuff or something.
Look
But
at...
like the only thing we get is like mid-season patch. That's really
Yeah,
the
nothing
only
changes
major.
the
like,
game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
If
mean,
they
look
want to
at...
do
Okay,
splits, I feel like they need to like change the meta and make like a big switch to keep the game fresh. That's what I
Well,
would.
they're
Version
supposed to
That's a
do...
great idea.
Okay, so they're supposed to do that in mid-season, and it really, like, this season they just killed ADC, and that was terrible.
That's
And
not a
then
mid-season.
That's not a, you know, that wasn't intentional. That was just bad, right?
Yeah.
But like, look at somebody like Ponderous, right? Ponderous is a diamond player. He's very good at League of Legends. Nice. So I mean, dude's good at League, and he gets burned out like nobody's fucking business. He played League for a really long time, took a huge break, like 3 or 4 months, and then came back, finished the season. He's diamond again, right? Is
I
he
did the same thing.
is he as high as he would be if he had played the entire season? No. I mean, he would have been like if he had really worked it, much higher than he ended, right? Like I ended Diamond 4 and he ended Diamond 5, I think. So, that is okay, so who cares? He paid the piper in that he didn't play all season. He didn't grind out a ton of games. But he hit, the minimum goal in which he wanted to hit, and he didn't decay. I feel like if you want to force people to play, make decay more of a factor, because you shouldn't be forcing everyone to play ranked more. Plus, certain people just don't like playing ranked. And you've just tripled the fail.
But it's like, meh. It doesn't do anything. It's just shiny armor. You just said that.
Right, but it's also a reward and people care about rewards, some more than others, right? So why it doesn't mean a whole lot to me, it may to...
This was just their attempt to, make the whole season, enjoyable, interactive, instead of just that one mid-season patch. Because they can't just change seasons like how they... Well, isn't Fortnite, one season's every 4 months? They can't change that because they got the whole esports scene. So they can't afford, make big changes like that.
Back up. Let's talk about what they did this season to ADC, right? You played ADC, right? Yeah?
Yeah, gotta
yeah.
get it.
Did you enjoy from May until June? Or April till June? Did you enjoy that meta?
When was it? When was that thing?
That was the bot lane bruiser meta.
That was the bot lane everything is fucked meta where ADCs did not exist.
I did play a lot of Brand Bot. Brand Bot was a lot of fun. I will give them that. That was fun. But other than that,
but you have to remember, Tycho wasn't an AD carry main every season. He was a top lane main until this season.
Yeah.
All right.
So he didn't really only know AD carry. He doesn't know anything, but
as a support main, I have not had an experience that was less fun than that meta. Because it was literally the
worse.
I didn't.
It really ruined.
Oh, it was easy for you because you're support. You just sit back and shield.
Yeah, I didn't care. I mean, that's the thing though. Do I enjoy playing Janna as much as I like playing Thresh, Blitz, Pike, whatever? No, but I played through it and it was not super fun. But I didn't want to just quit the game. I did not play ranked for 3 months. Because the meta was so terrible that I didn't want to tie my elo to it.
Plus, you had Taric E going on with the mid lane. It was a lot of things were fucked.
Yeah, the game was just broken. Now, if I'm forced to play ranked in that environment just to get an end of season reward, because I'm not gonna not get rewards. I don't care if it is doofy fucking summoner armor. My house is gonna have some summoner armor hanging up in it, because that's me. I'm a completionist. It's going to happen. So if we're doing this, and I have to do this, why do I have to play through every meta to get season rewards? It's a fucking season. The splits aren't even real. Nothing resets. It's not like spring split and summer split in the LCS, which, by the way, would have been a logical break point if you're going to shorten the season.
Well, here's another thing. If they're not resetting MR or rank, do you only have to play one ranked game to get your rank for the next split?
Yeah, but your rank is not
then it
tied.
won't even matter.
Keep in mind, your rank is not tied. From what I understand about the system or the video that they put out, your rank is not tied to how many split points you get. Split points you get from winning games. So if you lose 100 games and win 50, you may have won enough games for you to get maximum split points, but your rank is going to be dog shit. Right? So your summoner armor will be bronze or iron, but you will get the summoner armor upgrade. It's going to be iron with cool wings on it instead of just an iron helmet.
Well, that's not even what I'm talking. Doesn't it take your highest split end as your end of season reward, as in terms of if you get the Victoria skin or not? Because they didn't say that they were planning on taking.
They didn't actually announce how they were going to do the Victoria skin.
They said
they just said they were going to tie it.
Pipes
They said they were going to tie it to gold still. That was still going to be the cutoff, is you had to get gold.
Well, do you have to get gold in 2 out of the 3 splits, or do you only
I don't
have
know.
to hit gold once? Because I think that's a really big thing.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't address that. But it seems like splits, from what they have explained, splits will only give you short-term rewards until end of season. And then at end of season, if you have good rewards for all 3 splits, that's how you get the best end of season rewards. But I think it's still going to be you get gold, you get the skin. I just don't think it's going to be, and it doesn't make sense to do that in split 1 because then people will not continue to play. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose of them creating this weird mechanic.
Unless they tie the skin chromas or something else. Or
Oh,
they'd have to
sure.
do something.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be like some kind of chroma impact with this. Because they haven't
I feel
announced all the details yet. But the one thing they really locked in on was summoner armor, which I think is dumb.
I think Riot would get a lot of crap if you played split 1 and you were gold, and then say you didn't play any of the other splits, and you didn't get the gold skin because you didn't play the other
if you
skins.
played split 1 and you're gold, you're not going to decay.
Yeah, I know, but
The
does it
only-
average?
You'd have to fail out of gold, which is still pretty hard to do, to
No,
lose
I
your end of
agree.
season reward, right?
Well, that's the you would think, but whether or not, since it's out of 3 splits, do you have to have gold in 2 out of the 3 splits in order to be eligible for the end of season?
Well,
reward?
yeah, but if you have gold, unless you just you were bronze and then you got to silver and then you got to gold in split 3, I don't think they would do that because if you got to gold by the end of the season, you should get the reward. I don't think they would tie it to you have to be gold for so long. That doesn't make sense. And they didn't.
I mean,
from what they said in the video, it doesn't seem like they're changing anything about the skin. It seems like they're happy with that part, but they're changing all the other rewards.
as long as that doesn't change, then I guess it won't really change my
Well,
approach.
that's.
'cause
I mean,
usually
they didn't address it directly, except to say that they are not changing the cutoff as being gold. They did say that specifically.
Are you saying that Riot is keeping things behind a closed door for now? That's
crazy, unheard of.
Yeah, it's not.
Yikes.
You mean it's not fully transparent at all times?
wait. Oh my! I would
Not
never
my,
expect
not
that.
my company.
Not my small indie company.
Okay, so let's wrap this sucker up. We memed pretty hard right there. Let's wrap this thing up with let's talk about these positional ranks, right?
Garbage. All right.
Okay,
wrap-
garbage. You
I
have-
do not understand it, so somebody explain it to me right
I was
now.
about to say.
I have an idea.
Well, no, I was gonna say Astro seems to have a very strong opinion, so let's let him launch into it.
Let's go, Coach Astros.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't want to.
Let's go, Papa Astros.
Let's add value to the podcast. Let's go.
Add value. Then I'm in the wrong spot. So so each position gets its own rank, right? So you can be so Blake would be a diamond support player, and then an iron AD carry, an iron mid laner, etc. And then if you're off rolled, it's supposed to match you into equal skill level of what role you're playing.
So it's not based off MMR of that skill level, or just pure. It sounds to me like the MMR matches are going to be heavily skewed. That's what it sounds like to me. They're off-rolled.
So say I was still playing jungle next season, and then I ended up getting off-rolled, and I'm now playing mid. It's gonna lower the average rank or MMR of the mid laner I'm against to balance more with the rank of my off-roll.
So basically, what he's saying is positional matchmaking will be more accurate in throwing you into an off-roll scenario, right? So, for example, if you use me and you give me real skill factors instead of saying I'm iron at everything other than support, which okay,
Silver 80 carry,
yeah,
and
let's.
iron everything.
Let's say you do that, right? If I was playing ADC or something, right? I don't know where I would end up on the spectrum, but for the shits and grins, let's say it's plat, right? So they would factor out my skill at being plat, and they would compare me to other plat players, and I would get matched into a plat game instead of a diamond game, right? That's the concept. Because I'm not a Diamond 4 ADC player. Right?
But your main rank LP gains don't just go into your main role. So if Blake wins a game on support, he gets like 13 LP in support, but then he gets like 3 LP top, 2 LP jungle.
Right.
And it like
so it
spreads
splits
out.
the total LP
Across.
if you were autofilled.
But if you get no, even if you're playing your main, so if you're increasing your rank on your main, it increases the rank on your off roll. So you can't be like a diamond level player in support and then go to your worst off roll where it has you at like plat 5 and then go and just stomp plat 5 game just because you're that much better, even though like your off roll rank is lower than your main roll rank.
Right. The idea is what they wanted to do is to create a system to where if I was in an off roll that I wouldn't troll on purpose because I don't care.
But essentially, the matches are you're not going to be like matched up against true lower elo players. Like the whole let's say you're like if I was diamond support 2, right? But like would I get matched with the plat 5 mid laner, or when I get matched with a diamond support, but he's playing like a plat 5 mid laner too? Like would we be similar to true ranks?
Okay, so what it would be is your elo becomes whatever the elo you have in the role you are in. So if it's me and I am diamond 4 support, but in mid I am a mid gold level mid laner because I never play mid, right? Then I will be put into a game of people that are also mid gold in the role of mid.
In the role of it, okay, but
right, I will be the mid laner, and the game elo will be mid gold.
But in order to balance that out so you can't abuse it, if Blake is playing support, his average MMR for his off rolls increases as his main role LP increases.
Okay.
So it ties everything to your main role, and also failure in an off role you will lose some ground on your main role too.
So you don't in. It's supposed to disincentivize that.
I don't and that's my problem is the numbers that they put out before are like -3, right? So it's the same as if you dodged. I don't think that is significant enough to actually discourage people from trolling, right? Because if I got into a auto-filled situation, I would be very content to dodge, right? And if I know that's the most I'm going to lose, or I could play a game of jungle and maybe I win and maybe I don't, okay. You know what I mean? I don't see how that actually discourages trolling. I think it maybe a little disincentivizes it, but no more than I would have lost.
You know how they were testing because they were testing in normals and drafts. Like the game was trying to figure out if you were playing that role. So like if you were assigned top in blind pick or something, at like post game lobby, the system thinks, okay, I think you were playing top. So I think they're trying to get that ready for next season too. So
they were,
and
to be fair, I never saw that be wrong. Like it was never.
It hasn't
wrong.
been wrong yet. I haven't checked all, but so far it hasn't been wrong. So like they want people to so if you get off put into like mid or something, you won't just swap lanes with someone.
Well, you can. People are worried that you can duo abuse it to where say me and Papa or me and Zil queue together. Zil would pick jungle as his main role, I'd pick mid as my main role. Zil gets jungle, he swaps with me, I'm now playing against a gold jungler, and he's playing against a gold level mid laner, rather than me actually playing mid and him playing jungle. That's the only fear I have.
If that isn't fixed, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna abuse that, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you. I mean, they tried to fix it to identify when you actually trade, so it. But how do they do that if the matchmaking
They
is
can't
already
change
done?
it in lobby, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how they do that if the matchmaking's already done.
Maybe,
I don't think you can.
maybe it can track your movements in the game. I don't know. Small indie company. Who knows?
Yeah, all of a sudden it just swaps people out with better players because you move towards the support role. I don't see this is going to work. But I mean, that's the thing is, I kind of like the concept because if I am deciding to, like, I want to be able to play ADC and ranked without playing on a Smurf account, right? And if I want to do that, I don't feel as though I should have to play at a Diamond 4 level or ruin my MMR on my main role, right?
Or ruin someone else's game.
Or ruin someone else's game. So
It
I mean,
makes
I'm cool with the concept, but it brings up a shitload of executional problems that I don't know that there's a good way to get around. And I haven't seen,
Especially with Riot.
yeah, I haven't seen Riot put out anything yet that makes me go, oh, I feel okay about this. You know,
I don't know.
so we'll
Just
see.
trust in Mark. Trust Mark Merrill. Don't get it.
Yeah, that's done nothing but
Yeah.
let me down so far. So
Yeah, I don't.
it's like the same thing as like NA's hope for Worlds. It's like, you know what? This year they're not gonna hard in.
Hey, I did fuck that. This year was great.
This year was great.
I had the most like awesome Worlds experience this year.
Until semis, when every game was a 3-0.
Well,
Until semis, then that's most of Worlds, dude.
yeah, you
Like,
realize
come
that we
on.
usually fail out way before that.
No, I meant just games in general.
You know,
After
here's
semis, we're all
I
like,
think quarterfinals were the best part of it, but yeah, like that's fine.
yeah, I'm cool with it,
Championship
dude.
last month
Usually
before that
we're
wasn't even that good.
yeah, usually we're gone way before that. This time we at least had some hope.
wait,
Hope was
C9's
fun this year.
C9's made it out of group like almost every year.
Well, it's like the two teams that I have like merch for. Well, three because I have a liquid jacket, but I have
Nice.
I have C9 stuff because they're my favorite team, and
Same.
and I have a Fnatic jersey because they did a sale on jerseys with a print your name on it. So I have a Fnatic jersey that says Wise Pop Smurf. Fucking cool. I would have been thrilled with either of those teams winning Worlds. You know, and this year we actually had an opportunity for that to happen, and it wasn't Korea versus Korea. So I feel great. I feel great about this Worlds. I don't care.
No, I'm not mad about like the outcome or like how it happened. I just wish it was more competitive at the end of it and not just 3-0 stomps.
Well, I think that
Not
had
even
more
stomps,
to.
just 3-0s.
I think that had more to do with mentality. Like we called this on the podcast. I actually said either it's going to be real close or IG stomps Fnatic, but I don't see Fnatic stomping IG. I don't see
But-
that happening. But I could
Fanatics?
see Fnatic getting worked because they have so much like mental. Like I could see them mentally blowing up. Where I don't see that from IG. And I was right. I did call that.
Like one of Fnatic's like employees actually like said that. I think he posted it on Twitter that like it's either gonna be a 3-0 stomp either way. But it'd be like if any team was to get 3-0 stomped, it'd be Fnatic just because like morally it's
I just don't see him coming back from a downturn, but whatever.
no, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've covered preseason. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about on preseason? The floor is available.
I wish it wasn't 2.5 months, but
No.
That's fair. Wasn't
Yeah,
last
preseason.
preseason like way shorter?
no, last preseason was just as long. It was like a big complaint from like everyone because preseason was like thought it was like the worst preseason last season.
Or maybe did
Oh,
the season
I
like
wasn't feeling
end
that.
later or something? Like it felt shorter than it did before. I don't know.
I don't know. Nobody like a lot of like the higher elo players and like the big names like hated how long preseason was. Like I feel like, especially with the splits added, if they're trying to split the season up, like there's no reason not to start it earlier. But I guess it's development time. That's like the issue.
I just can't wait to find a new OP thing in preseason. Just abuse it.
So you can.
Oh, you guys see that video that Riot posted? It was called like, "Is it meta?" Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's like,
That was a great video. I
dude,
love that.
when I saw it on the front page, I'm like, oh, what a nice meme video. I'm like, oh wait, Riot made that. The
Yeah.
6 with and Diana.
Okay,
the
because-
full AP Shyvana. Okay,
Yeah.
the Shyvana works in ARAM.
The Shyvana works
100%.
anywhere. It's Runic Echoes is actually busted. Not really.
So they were encouraging us to make things meta, try whatever we want. So
Well,
it's gonna
okay,
happen.
so the one change that we didn't talk about that we probably should is in runes they took out the you went this tree, you get this bonus, and now you get
Thank
to
the
pick.
Lord.
You get to pick what your bonuses are. So
It's
essentially,
a game changer for me.
We actually
I like
skipped
that.
over. We
I like
skipped
that.
over the best change in preseason.
you know,
that's
like
true.
you guys realize that what they've basically done is brought runes back into the game.
yeah,
Yes, exactly, and I'm
but-
so happy.
Hey,
Like
it's all in one page.
it's
now.
almost as if there used to be runes, and then they took those away, and now they're putting them back in an
you
almost
don't have to buy
identical
'em now.
way, and you don't have to buy
You
them.
don't have to buy them.
Fine. I don't. You know, I never really saw a problem with the rune system. I kind of liked it.
I love the rune system.
I like this
I
rune
like the
system
rune
this year.
system, but I was mad that I couldn't change my runes in game, like in game lobby, like in champion select.
You mean the,
Oh,
the old one?
Yeah, like you had to have your set pages, and you only get 2 default, and it's a whole champion to get a new rune page. So
Uh-huh.
I like that they kind of like made it like. I'd rather 'em bring it back and then bring it back this way than just giving me back the old one.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with. I don't know. Rune pages were always more complex than they needed to be. I'm fine with simplifying it. I'm also cool with making it free. So, yeah. All right. Fine. But I mean, it's literally just a revert on a decision that they made, and then they like made it a diet version, like
Hey, man.
diet revert. You know.
Hey, they're trying. All right.
No, I'm cool. It's just it's funny to me that Riot like constantly disguises reverting bad changes as new ideas.
I do that all the time at
Well,
work. It's fine.
Yeah, like I don't know on the PB they reverted it, but they were bringing back. Remember old Galio when he had like 90% AP ratio, one-shotting carries.
Mm-hmm.
They were bringing that back on the PB, but it just got removed like a couple days ago. I'm just like, you guys really don't remember a year ago when Galio was pick banned.
Well, it's like Zill, like he does that at work all the time. It's like, no, you're not fired. You just don't have to come to work anymore, and
you also don't
and
get
you
paid,
don't, and you
no
just
matter
don't.
what.
Even if you have to or not,
it's
you
a
just don't.
win-win.
Yeah. So you can leave now, and also you never come back. You know,
And if you
So
do
why
come
not?
back, you
We
might-
just
I mean,
reverted
you'll
that
just
firing
get
If
thing.
voted
you
out.
do come
It's
back,
called
we
positioning.
might have to get security.
yeah, we're just
How
gonna
you say it?
we're just gonna move you down to the basement and stop paying you. And here's this flashlight. And if you see any roaches down there, just take
Eat
care
them.
of it.
Kill them,
Yeah.
I mean. Yes.
You
Well,
just
I
smash
mean,
it with a hammer.
Good source of fiber. So
Anyway, all right. With that, we will wrap out the podcast for this week. Thank you guys for listening to the preseason. If we do manage to recover the video from last episode, I will post it. It will be Lola 213. If I have to make it again a month from now, I will post it as Lola 213. I have not forgotten. Never forget. Lola 213. Wait a minute. What's the...
R.I.P.
No, is this or is it this? With
The bird
Mockingjay.
Oh,
Yeah, never forget 213.
I can't even do that.
Is it
My
these
hands
three?
go.
are formed.
Is it these three?
It is
that what
those
it is?
three.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
what
know,
I thought.
my
I,
doesn't
I
work.
literally can't bring my pinky down.
It's
without
been a
moving it
while
here.
since Hunger Games. Yeah, I think it's like, is it like that or is it like that? think it's like-
I think it's this, but this looks weird. because it looks like I'm just like.
Okay.
Wait, have you-
Okay, they killed some kids. Woo! I don't think it's this. That doesn't.
Good enough.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
All right.
Anyone who watches the YouTube video is going to enjoy that.
Yeah, everybody just they'll enjoy that. All right. So, with that, I'll say good night, everybody.